CPI data beat expectation. We were expecting 5 and we got 4.9. But core inflation was still 5.5, which we talked about in the previous video. If you were watching any of our previous videos about the CPI, it was expected to be 5.4, but core inflation still was 5.5. So it basically evened out. But if you looked at all the CPI with energy and food and everything, we did beat it. So it was like a small decline from last month. With that being said, let's go to the chart and see what we talked about. We talked about yesterday, if it did beat, it was going to come back to this level, which was 323, and it did pop. It definitely beat 323, and it went up all the way to 325. Now, like I said, there was going to be a sell-off during the first 30 minutes or whatever, and then there was another pop going back to 325. So if you did miss the opportunity pre-market, you probably grabbed it right here. We did have a sell-off throughout the day because as data comes in, people are thinking that we might get more rate hikes, and was core inflation was still 5.5. So was that actually a good report? Well, after consideration, you got to look at that people over here usually sell off there and they get their profits, and they usually we have a sell-off. Then there was a big buying point. So whoever missed out basically had another chance to buy the CPI data for what it was at during yesterday's endpoint. So you had a big buying opportunity right here, and it just exploded, and we went back all the way to the top. So what does that mean looking forward? We could possibly see a 330 mark. So 330, which is like it could happen really quick. Now this 330 mark is basically 330 through to 332 or 333 is basically the resistance that we need to break to go back to this bull market. So this is a very, very important let's actually draw a line and mark. Well, I can't draw a line if
What happens with the line?
There you go. So that line is a very key indicator of what to expect and what we need to beat to go back into the bull market. Now, what could happen too is it could bounce off of this, hit the ceiling, and then come falling back down. Who knows? But this is a very, very key indicator. If we break this, we are going to go back up. And it could potentially go back up to at least 346. And then the next resistant level would be 368. But with that being said, we're still not out in the clear. We have an important date, which is June 1st. June 1st is the debt ceiling deadline, according to Janet Yellen, which is the Treasury Secretary. So if the Congress and Biden don't come together and raise the debt ceiling or come together with some kind of negotiation to how they're gonna do the budget, we could look for a downfall. Today, Trump at its town hall meeting said, well, if the Democrats don't want to agree on some spending cuts, which I think is very important for our government to do, we need to do some spending cuts. We need to stop printing money, because that's the reason why we have so much high inflation. If we start seeing some spending cuts, we might see lower prices going forward, because if all these tech companies are laying off people, maybe they're doing it for a reason, because a lot of tech companies and a lot of these other companies that are laying off people are finding ways to still make profit by not having as much people, because during the pandemic it was a different story. And right now, people are looking for ways to still make a profit off of the same like lower workforce, but the same
Same production.
same production, yes. So with that productivity, should be put into the government as well. See where we don't need the extra money expenditures. So with that being said, June 1st is a very important date to look forward to. Also, June 3rd is another important date because we have the BRICS meeting at South Africa, Cape Town. And that is another big meeting because they're trying to de-dollarize basically the American dollar. So that's another important meeting to look at. Now, what happens if we do not meet the debt limit? If we don't meet the debt limit, we will see a lot of things crash. Markets are going to plummet. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of government officials are going to lose their jobs. A lot of companies might go haywire.
Well, I think they're gonna raise it. I think
They always
what they're,
do,
what
but
they're doing right, they always do this. They always play these political
just
games. At the
imagine
end of
they
the
always
day,
do this. They
it
expect
goes.
it, but so usually what the market usually does is during these times. So right now during these times, you might see the markets right now, up and it has good news and everything, but some things just trigger. Like if they might say during the day, and you're seeing your stock going up and you're relaxing, an hour later they might make an announcement, oh, we're not doing anything with a debt limit. Just that news can cause the markets to tank. Your stock will probably go back down to where it was. Options basically go are useless. So the contracts, basically, they, if about gamma and theta, they make your options go useless, even though you're winning at one point. But so it's very, very strategic that you look for these signals, and just be careful whenever you're in the stock market during this time. It's gonna be very volatile going into June 1st. Like I said yesterday, I mean, we're gonna have a very volatile session, and we did just that. We had a very volatile session. You could see the bulls made money, the bears made money, the bulls made money. It was very volatile. So see that going forward after the CPI. Tomorrow is going to be a PPI. The PPI is going to come out tomorrow. It's funny to say, but I mean, look for that too, and we'll see how that happens. It's going to be another volatile market session. So exciting.
It's gonna be exciting week then, week, month, and it's gonna go into next month too. So we'll be here to let you guys know what's going on.
All right, guys, take care.
Thank you guys. Take care. Subscribe, give us a like button, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.